From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD, Primetime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We got ourselves the TNF Inactives for today and the final thoughts on the AFC North Showdown. Now, we do see that T. Higgins is out of this game, and also very, very important player in Hubbard, who's out for today as well, too. Defensive lineman, who's a very key piece to what this team is doing on the offensive side of it. Alavios is out as well, too. He's another but he's not a main receiver, but he's one of their secondary complementary receivers that they have. His loss is not as huge as you would think, but the rest in this game are kind of man. You know, you want things to be a little bit better for them coming into the game. But Sam Hubbard, to me, is a bigger loss than T. Higgins, because Sam Hubbard can really go ahead and affect things greatly in this game. And by him not being there, it's really rough, and it's going to be tough for this team to really go ahead and do exactly what they want to do on the defensive side of the ball. But that just means that they got to be a little bit better on offense tonight. Jamar Chase is a go. He's not dealing with any issues as before. Trey Hendrickson, the leading pass rusher on the team, he's a go as well, too. Even though it felt like he wasn't going to possibly make it into the game, he makes it into the game for this one as well, too. When you look at the Ravens side of things, Ronnie Stanley's out with the knee situation. Also, McCarry will be starting in place of him. You have Marlon Humphrey, who's probably going to be out for tonight, but Rock Ya-Sin is going to be replacing him. So that's not that bad of a break for the Ravens, because Ya-Sin is a very, very good player as well, too. So there's just a lot of things that are going into tonight's game when it comes to the inactive portion of it. And when I look at the just all of this game, this is a very important game for both teams, but who can really afford to lose? Right now, the Bengals can't afford to lose. The Ravens can. That's the whole thing. I know they're not going into this game with the idea of losing or anything like that, but the Ravens, as I said all week long, they're a very tired team. They played all 10 weeks. They're 7-3 right now. They played physical football every single week this year. And then Sunday was probably their most physical game that they played all season long. Their defense spent a lot of time out on the field in the second half as well, too. You just don't recover from that in 3 days. So I do like the Bengals tonight to go ahead and win a very close game. But I'm going to say this. The spread is the better bet here. And then possibly you could go ahead and run an alternate line, so then you can get more money. Then you will get on the money line as well, too. So you'll see my bets here at the end of the show. But that is my final thoughts on the Thursday night Inactives in the Thursday night football game. Very important game. AFC North Showdown. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. The Bengals trying to put themselves back in the playoff hunt as well, too. They're already in the playoff hunt, but back in the playoff standings where you're good to go. You ain't got to worry about nothing but winning. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take ourselves to our next topic, and that's going to be the CFB game of the night between BC and Pitt. BC coming in here 6-4. You got the Pitt Panthers coming in here 2-8. This is an old rivalry right here. These guys go way back. Even before the Big East, they were playing each other as independents in the Northeast. These teams know each other. They know each other very well. Boston College, Pitt, They've had some really great games on the basketball court, but the football field a little bit different. So tonight you do have a team coming in here 2-8 as the favorite, and they're going against a team that's 6-4 as a slight dog. And the reason for this is because nobody expected Boston College to be this good this season. Really, they didn't. They didn't even have them at 6 wins for the year, but they've been able to go ahead and win some good games this year, games that they weren't supposed to win, but they won them. Pitt, on the other hand, they've just struggled this year. They've got their signature win against Louisville this year, and that's about it. They have really went through the motions of, you know, rebuilding a group, because you know that they lost some very key pieces to the coaching staff. They lost some key pieces to the transfer portal as well too. So this team is really trying to recoup and figure out who they're going to be for the next, you know, decade or so, because you know Pitt is not as attractive for the football side of things as it used to be. And you know the ACC is not one of the better conferences right now either. So there's just a lot of things that play a part into, you know, schools being able to still can maintain that success. And you know they really haven't shaken back well since Kenny Pickett left. So you know it's like that. BC on the other hand, they know that they're playing with house money. There's a reason for them to be the underdog tonight, because a lot of people feel like Pitt is going to be a upset special tonight in reality, because this is an upset in reality. The line is not saying that this is, you know, the line is saying that Pitt's the favorite, but the records are saying that Boston College is the favorite, and Boston College is outscoring them by 7 points, and both of them aren't great at scoring, but Pitt is not even averaging 20 points a game. So, you know, this is advantage to Boston College. Boston College, they're not passing the ball as well as they're running the ball, but, you know, by them running the ball, they can go ahead and stay on the field much longer. So everything really, to me, calls for a BC beatdown, in my opinion. They had won 4 in a row coming into this game. They get beat 48-22 against a rejuvenated Virginia Tech team. You have Pittsburgh, who's lost 4 in a row since their 38-21 win over the ranked Louisville Cardinals. They did well against Wake. They lost by 4, but since then, this team has been absolutely dreadful. They've had 27 points in that time, and they've given up they've given up what it looks like 110 points, so to 110-20. This team is awful right now. Why would they be the favorite for this game? I do not understand that part, but I do understand that part because they're at home. You can't really trust Boston College, because you know Boston College is the type of team that when they go into games like this, they usually, you know, drop the ball. And tonight, I don't see that happening. I really do think that we're stealing tonight with a plus 110 money line, but they probably will not be a plus 110 money line by the time we get to the kickoff. So tonight, BC is my bet for this game to win this game. I'll have more bets on this game as we get to talking tickets. So with that, we will move forward to our next topic in hand, and we go into the boxing world. And the biggest card of the year announced in the UK that features AJ and Wilder as the co-main events. Those are the biggest names in the heavyweight division, and we just today had Usyk and Fury have their press conference to confirm the date for their fight, which is going to be in February in Ryder as well too, and that's going to be called the Circle of Fire or something of that nature. But it's going to be a really good fight. It's already really saucy right now. They had a great press conference with a lot of trash talk, but you can see. I'm going to go ahead and take off the caption real quick, but you can see that this is an incredible card. When you look at it in the grand scheme of things, you got Frank Sanchez going against some guy, Fa. I think he's a Simone or something of that nature, but he's a high-end heavyweight. But Frank Sanchez, this is a good moment for him to move up the rankings and everything on the WBC list. Then you have Horovic. He's going against Demori. This is more of a tune-up for him. But this guy is a guy who can crack, so that's going to be a good fight as well, too. Then you have Dimitri Bivol finally making his 2023 appearance. He's going to be fighting against some brother, Arthur. This is just a good tune-up, but I know this is a mandatory situation as well, too. So he's going to go ahead and have his fight, defend his belt. You got Anthony Joshua, who's going to be the headliner for this fight, going against Otto Whalen, who did fight Tyson Fury years ago, and gave him a pretty tough fight from what people saw. I thought it was just because Fury got cut that, he kind of still had a chance in it, but Fury was able to do what he had to do to win that fight. Then you have Deontay Wilder going against Joseph Parker. I feel that's really the headline fight because those are two former world champions actually fighting against each other. But AJ is the one that has the big deal with the Saudi group that is putting on the fight. Then you have Dubois and Miller. That's my favorite fight of the whole situation. I feel like a lot of people have thrown away Big Baby. I think Big Baby's situation is more about, people that just didn't like him. And I know he got popped for several drugs and things of that nature, illegal substances and stuff like that. But you guys can see how big the guy is, man. And a lot of times those substances that guys are getting caught up with are fat burners and things of that nature. I don't know if it was necessarily like steroids like that, but hey, they said that's what it was, and he went ahead and did 3, 4, 5 different tests, and they kept coming back the same way. He didn't even have ground to sue these people on. But you know what? That's all in the past. This is now. I know he'll be tested before the fight. I know a lot of people feel like he doesn't deserve the right to have a big fight like this and everything. But you know what? He was one of the top 5 heavyweights in the world before he got popped in that situation. He was going to give Anthony Joshua the fight that everybody didn't expect from Andy Ruiz. That was going to be the same fight coming from Big Baby in a sense as well, too. But I think that Joshua would have been able to go ahead and actually beat Big Baby Miller because the New York, the New York flow, him being at home and then maybe doing a bit too much. But all in all, it's great to see that Dubois and Miller are fighting, and this possibly will set up the Big Baby Miller Anthony Joshua fight for sometime in 2024 if he can just keep clean. That's all. I would love to see that fight. I don't care what anybody says. The guy got talent. I want to see it. Makhmudov and Carriel. This one is more of a development fight. This is more of a show and prove fight. But we know Makhmudov is going to be a heavy favorite in that one. And then this guy, Opatea, who's the Ring Magazine Cruiserweight champion, WBC Cruiserweight champion. He seems to be got a GQ look to him and everything like that. A lot of people like his style. I'm not very familiar with him because I don't really deal with the Cruiserweight weight class. But from what I'm hearing, he's a very good boxer. He's a very good champion, and that should be a lot of fun. But this is the right type of card to get the masses involved in a big moment. I keep trying to explain to you guys and all these big boxing fans and boxing media people and people that, write articles and everything about the sport. You guys know that I'm right there in the middle of all this stuff as a credentialed member. I've worked over 50 fights in the last 5 years or so, and some of the biggest fights that have biggest gates ever as well, too. So pretty much a lot of people always are selling these smaller weights with the lightweights and the welterweights and the bantamweights and all these people that are a little bit more active because they can book a fight a little bit quicker. Heavyweights run the boxing world. When you can put a card like this together, the whole world will tune into it. Everybody will be glued to the TV to see exactly what's going on here. And knowing that AJ and Wilder is a very close to happening, everybody's going to be very tuned in to know that they can see both these guys on the same night. HBO used to be an absolute master of this situation back in the day. I'm going to give you a great example. When Mike Tyson had first lost his title and George Foreman was making his comeback, there was this hype about possibly putting Foreman and Tyson in the ring together. And so what happened is that they all were on a Caesar's Palace card one night. It was a great card. Michael Moore was even on that card as well, too, defending his heavyweight championship. and it was a tremendous card that night. It was a sellout situation, and there were no titles on the line, but there were heavyweights involved, so people showed up. This fight right here will rekindle a lot of memories of a lot of great heavyweight cards that had other great heavyweight fights associated with it. And that's exactly doing the right thing by the fans, giving everybody the best Christmas gift you can possibly give them. I'm excited about this situation because this is going to be a very good media marketed situation. It's not going to be something where, oh, I don't know who these guys are. Everybody knows who AJ is. Everybody knows who Wilder is. Everybody has came to know who Bivol is. And now everybody somewhat knows who Dubois is. So there's a bunch of names. There's a bunch of people who will be able to sell this fight. Joseph Parker brings in a whole country himself. So, and he brings in a whole culture with the Samoans. So if this is a absolute gem of a night. This was a great idea, but they had to put a lot of people together to make this happen. But this is because the Saudis that are putting on these fights can afford to put on these fights. They can pay everybody demand, all that good stuff. They can take care of everything. They're giving the promoters a great site fee that they can split up, and nobody has to be that greedy at the end of the day. And you know what? We wipe out all these show and prove one-sided fights that don't matter. This is going to be the card. It's going to be the card. And that's exactly how we need to have a lot of these cards when it comes to the heavyweight class. The heavyweights need to always have cards of their own. Maybe mix in a couple of these little fights and things of that nature. Maybe win a title fight, but we need to see the heavyweights on full display. That's me. And I feel like we got some of the best heavyweights in the world all on one card. And I feel like somebody called Don King and asked him exactly how do you do this thing the right way? And they're doing it the right way. So with that, that's going to be a wrap on that. And we move forward, and let's go ahead and talk about tonight's fight between Shakur Stevenson and Edwin De Los Santos. This is, final thoughts on this situation. The WBC title is on the line tonight. This is going to be a very, very good fight, in my opinion. I think that it is going to go the distance. So I would say, you know what? Bet the over. The over is over 11 and a half. You know what I mean? Over 10 and a half. I'm sorry. And they're actually giving you a minus 300 on that. That's a lot, but still, that's a good bet because you know what? You can hit that bad boy. And if you can find something different that can give you a little bit lesser on the money line for it, the odds on it, then go take that one, because I know that in some spots they probably have it at minus 250, minus 225, but I was looking at Bovada, they got it at minus 300. You also have a very good sense of if somebody's going to get knocked down, and I think that you could possibly have some fun tonight and say that they're both going to knock each other down. I think this fight is going to actually wind up being a lot closer than most think it's going to be. I think that Edwin De Los Santos knows this is the biggest fight of his life, and he's going to go in there like that. And hopefully, if he shows the same ringmanship that he did against Adorno a few months back in DC, then you know what? This is going to be a very competitive fight. And at this moment, Shakur Stevenson, this is supposed to be another crowning moment for Shakur to see if he is worthy of being called one of the best fighters in the world. And I know a lot of people feel that he's already at that point right now, but he's just building resume, and this is a good resume builder right here with De Los Santos to show us that, as he gets more and more evolved in his career, he gets better and better opponents, so then he can show that he is the man. Because at the end of the day, they all want to be Floyd. They all want to be Lennox Lewis. They all want to be Tyson. They all want to be all the legends. But you know what? The legends went and fought the guys that they needed to fight to go ahead and establish themselves as legends. They just didn't fight guys that are good at tweeting, okay? They fought real men. And I think that, at the end of the day, Shakur just got to keep moving along and just chalking up wins. That's all he can do at the end of the day. I know he has a lot of issues with the media because he doesn't like the fact that they don't kiss up to him like others. He doesn't like the fact that they're talking about other boxers and not him, all that good stuff. Well, you got to make them care. And I think that when you sit up there and you have these dominant fights and you're not knocking these people out, then it really does kind of tire out people. You know what I mean? And I think that if tonight he has a resounding performance where he actually goes in here and he can stop Edwin De Los Santos, he's going to get an amount of respect that he's been looking for. But most of us know how this fight is really going to go. We know Shakur is going to go in here and do his boxing style and do all that good stuff and be moving around the ring constantly. We know De Los Santos is going to be over here trying to seek and destroy and trying to figure out where he can land a powerful punch at. But if I'm giving advice to either side, I'm going to say this. Shakur needs to go in there and actually go in there and fight, not just box. Go in there and fight. Show him that you got the power and everything like that. Back him up. Make sure he respects where you're coming from. And if he sits there jabbing and playing around all night, that might not affect De Los Santos as much as everybody thinks it can. So I think that he needs to be aggressive tonight. He needs to check. I know he's not looking for the knockout, but he needs to be over there trying to get the knockout. You know what I mean? And that's something that will make a lot of people shut up. But at the same time, too, just win the damn fight, at the end of the day. De Los Santos, I feel like all he has is opportunity to shock the world. But the way he does that is via knockout or if he absolutely dominates Shakur. It's going to be tough to get a split decision against Shakur because, Shakur will make it look obvious that he was the better fighter if it has to go down to the cards like that. But I truly do feel if De Los Santos can find a way to counter and throw those powerful punches that he did against Rayo, he might be able to send Shakur to the upper room. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, does Shakur have a chin? We don't know because nobody's ever really hit him that hard. But we know that he is a little susceptible to body shots. But who isn't? That's like so silly to me. Like everybody is susceptible. Everybody has been hit with a body shot that, oh man, damn, timeout. You know what I mean? Everybody has. They're saying right now, they're rumoring right now that Errol Spence had broken ribs going into the fight with Crawford. And, things like that happen. So pretty much with that, the way I see this fight, you take the over tonight. And you know what? If you want to have a little fun, put some money on the underdog. You're getting 10-1 on De Los Santos tonight to win the fight. Go by decision as well, too. And then you know what? To have some fun and say you're a Shakur person and things of that nature. You can't bet him really straight up to win the fight at minus 2,500. But what you can do is you can say, okay, he'll end the fight before the 7th round with a knockout. And that's something that you can put together for your bets as well, too. And let me see exactly how much you would be getting if you were able to go ahead and get Shakur on a situation on a knockout. So let's see what that's looking like. And if you were able to get him on a knockout for this fight, it would look a lot like this. If Shakur scores a knockdown, it's plus 250. So that's a good bet in itself as well, too. And if Shakur gets knocked down and wins, that's plus 1,000 as well, too. And if will either fighter score a knockdown, that's another good one. Yes, plus 150. So you're getting nothing but plus money with that. Will the fight go to distance? Minus 300. But if you really want to go ahead and say, you know what, Shakur is my guy, you can take by KO, TKO, or DQ with the plus 230. And then you know what, my favorite bet in all the sports and all of boxing is the draw because it's always big odds. So it's 20-1 for the draw. Okay. So that's just the information that I'm giving you guys right now on the fight that you can get tonight, and we'll go from there. And if De Los Santos is able to score a knockout tonight, you're going to get 11-1 odds on that, and if he wins by decision, you're going to get 22-1 odds on that. So big favorite, big underdog. It should be a lot of fun tonight. And one more time, let me see exactly where we could end this at, and everybody can make some money up in here. Okay, if the fight goes under 3.5 rounds, you can get 18-1. If the fight goes under 4.5 rounds, you can get 14-1 on that deal as well too. And then I think probably the 7.5 I just called out, you get plus 550 on that bad boy as well too. And if you go the under 10.5, you get plus 250. So the odds are good for the under tonight. So if you really are chasing some plus money, that's where you're going, is to the under tonight. But I suggest to just go ahead and take the over and deal with it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's going to be a really good fight. I expect it to go the distance tonight. But if it does end in a KO, it will probably wind up being Shakur. But, anything can happen in this. And I'm going to actually put a fun bet on De Los Santos, because you know what? I know him personally. He's a good dude, good Dominican brother. He speaks nothing but Spanish, but he got the soul in him as well too. So I think that I'm going to rock with De Los Santos tonight, because I think that he'll be able to he'll be able to frustrate him. And I think that he can win the people tonight if he doesn't win the fight. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break. When I get back, we are going to jump into the NBA. We're going to jump into the CBB game of the day, and we're going to talk the state of the Lakers. So you stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Captain.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another, and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Captain, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, here we are. It is time for NBA talk, CBB talk, and time for talking the Lakers. And up first, we got the game tonight between Mass Lowell and Arizona State. This game is actually going to be Arizona State as the favorite, even though Mass Lowell is coming in here undefeated tonight. 3-0, got a good win against Georgia Tech the other day as well, too, on the road. Now they're back. They travel very quickly to UMass. I mean, not to UMass, but to Tempe to go against the Sun Devils. And the Sun Devils are trying to get things right. You know what I mean? They got Bobby Hurley as their coach. They're trying to put themselves in a position to where they're really a team that gets taken seriously. And this game tonight is a real measurement. I know they got a good win against Texas Southern the other night, beating them 63-52 to get their first win of the season. And, they got whooped by Mississippi State to start the year. So, this team is 1-1 right now. They're trying to figure some things out. And it's funny because it seems like Mass Lowell is much better than them in almost every stat except for 3-point percentage. So, this team is actually coming in here, should be a little bit lower on the spread because they're averaging 83 points a game to Arizona State's 59 points a game. And, this game is just if it was Mass Lowell who was in a better conference, they would be the favorite tonight. And Hakeem averaging 21.3, he's going to be the lead scorer from any team tonight on the court. So when you got the best scorer on your side, that gives you an advantage as well too, in my opinion. And I truly do feel that Mass Lowell is on a mission this year to be a great team in conference and to be somewhat of a player in the big tournament if they're able to win their conference this year as well too. But you know what? It's always fun in the beginning of the season when teams like this jump out 3-0, they get a good win against a Power 6 school, and then you look up and it's like, oh, damn, this team is only 12-12 on the year when you get down to the nitty-gritty and with them getting to their tournament. But I don't see that happening for UMass Lowell. They were one of the better teams in their conference last year because I do follow that conference extensively, and that conference being the American East. It's the American East. So, I really do think that, when you look at it, Mass Lowell is really trying to make sure that they get the quality wins before they get into their conference because they're dealing with the Vermonts of the world, New Hampshire, and Albany as well too. Maine is set to have a pretty good team as well this year. Then you also have Bryant, who's always a factor and always a tough always a tough road game for teams in the American East as well too. And then you got the always famous UMBC, the first ever team to win as a 16 seed in the tournament. So they're always looming the danger. And I think the only team that is really not a factor at all moving forward is NJIT. But, that school is not really about winning basketball games. They're just about putting out a team on a basketball court. That's a school. That's a student athlete school right there. So pretty much with that tonight, I'm going to go ahead and take I call him M.A. Low. Mass Lowell. I'm going to go ahead and take UMass Lowell tonight to go ahead and win this game as a plus 260 dog. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. And that's that for the CBB game of the night. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the state of the Lakers. And the Lakers last night, absolutely atrocious. The Lakers gave 72 points in the first half, wound up losing the game 125-110 last night. They got it close there in the end. They got within 10 points with about 5 minutes left, but it just was not enough last night. And the Lakers made a lot of bonehead mistakes last night. There were a lot of guys that were overplaying their position, in my opinion, as well, too. LeBron plays 35 minutes last night. They're trying to keep LeBron at a 28-minute or less, output nightly. So he gets a triple-double last night, but he had 6 turnovers as well, too. Very key to the Lakers losing this game last night. Also, D'Angelo Russell was off the chain last night. He actually shot the most. He went 12 of 20 last night, 4-6 from 3. 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He did pretty well, but he had 2 turnovers as well, too. But he did very well, but it was a minus 13 with the plus and minus situation. Cam Reddish is a guy that's been really, really good. He really liked what Cam Reddish brings to the table at the wing spot, and he shot for 50% last night, 2 for 5 from 3. He had 16 points. And then Anthony Davis, just why? Anthony Davis had 9 points last night on 3 of 9 shooting. And he went to the free throw line and hit 3 for 3. And he had 9 rebounds last night, but he had 5 turnovers last night, but he also had 4 blocks. Why I'm bringing this up is because he shot 9 times. Cam Reddish shot 14. Russell shot 20. And then I look up here and I see Austin Reeves, who has 9 points, 4 of 10, 0 of 5 from the three-point line, 1 of 2 from the free throw stripe, 4 turnovers. Yeah, he got 11 rebounds and 8 assists. But, dude, you're not supposed to shoot more than AD. Reddish, you're not supposed to shoot more than AD. What are we doing here? As Robert Horry said last night, you have to feed the big man. No, you guys can't take it upon yourself to not have AD get his 2010. Just no, not at all. You just can't do that. And I feel like sometimes the Lakers got identity crisis. The Lakers don't have 4 All-Stars. They got 2. And then maybe D'Angelo Russell, if he can consistently score every night, he would be the 3rd. But the rest of y'all, hell no. Rui Hachimura only got 17 minutes last night. What's up with that, Darvin? Knowing that he's a guy you gave $51 million to, but you're still playing Taurean Prince more than him. I don't think Taurean Prince is playing better than Rui. Rui has been awesome the last 2 games. He was averaging 24 and a half points the last 2 games. And last night he scores 5 points on 5 shots. No, he has to have more as well too. And you know what? Austin Reeves getting 11 rebounds is great. But once again, I'm looking at Jackson Hayes. I'm looking at Christian Wood. They combined for 3 rebounds. And then when you add in AD, the other big man, they got 9. So that's 3 of your big men only able to get 12 rebounds. And then you got 2 of your guards, your guys that actually, kind of have the ball in their hand all the time with 21 rebounds. So, come on, Lakers, people have to start playing roles. And in a game like last night against the Kings, people had to play their role because the Kings got guys playing their role. And the Kings last night, they absolutely shredded the Lakers. Sabonis had 29-16 on the Lakers last night with 7 assists. De'Aaron Fox had 28 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists last night, and 4 steals. Then Hooter comes in here. He gets 28 points, shoots 6 of 11 from 3, and he gets 7 assists last night, 4 rebounds. So you had 3 guys almost score 30 points on you last night, and the rest of the team scored 40. Okay? And that's just ain't going to cut it. The Lakers really, really were so lackadaisical on the defensive end. They really refused to really go out and stick the jump shot. And then it's kept messing them up in other terms when it came to getting offensive rebounds. Or then now we got the guy 4 feet away from the bucket. He's hitting it because the Lakers were just playing way too out of place the whole night. And I will say this, I don't like to make excuses like this, but I can say they were a bit tired because the Lakers did play a really good game the night before. They absolutely blew the doors off the Grizzlies. And this is what usually happens on back-to-backs. When you beat a team by damn near 30, it's going to be really hard for you to really reduplicate that the next night when you're not one of those teams. And the Lakers figure it out damn near every night that they're not one of those teams, but they can be one of those teams. That's why I keep saying, stop looking for who the Lakers need to trade for. We are 12 games into the season. 12 games into the season. We have 70 more. Stop worrying about who ain't on the roster yet and who ain't going to be on the roster in 2 months. You have to worry about what you got right now. And the Lakers, I'm telling you now, these guys cannot think about who's getting traded, who's getting cut. You don't need to think about any of that. You need to just go out there and do the basics and go win these games. It's not that hard. We know that you're not going to win 100% of your games. You're not going to win 90%, 80%, 60%, 70%. But go out there and show some effort. And last night, the Lakers showed me no effort. Even though they got better defensively in the second half, it's because the Nuggets were tired. Usually when you score 72 points in the first half, you're not going to duplicate that in the second half at all. That's why a lot of halves are day and night. And that's exactly what happened last night with the Lakers. Lakers had a great second half. But it just wasn't enough. So it is what it is at the end of the day. And pretty much with that, that's the state of the Lakers for you. And they do have a game tomorrow night for the bubble. I'm not for the bubble, but look at me talking about the bubble. But they do got a game for the cup, as they're calling it. The Lakers are playing in Portland tomorrow for their 3rd tournament game and their 2nd game against the Blazers this season. So with that, that's going to be a wrap on the state of the Lakers. Let's go ahead and talk about NBA Thursday night. We only got 2 games tonight. Last night, pretty fun schedule last night. We wound up not being able to get home our dog, though. Our dog, that was the Timberwolves last night. They wound up getting beat by 18 points. So, it is what it is at the end of the day. We also got a good situation last night, though, for my clients with the Mavericks winning by 13. I had them with the 5.5 point spread for the premium play last night. They did very well in this first half, 71 points in the first half, but then goes back to my point. They scored 59 points in the second half because you're giving up a lot of energy when you score a lot of points. So it is what it is. And they gave up 66 in the second half, but they were still able to win that game by 13. So, it was a good night last night, but tonight is a shorter night. We only got 2 games going on with that. And the first one that we have up is this. It's going to be the Nets 6-5, the Heat 7-4. 3.5 point spread to the Heat. Now we got ourselves an over under 214.5. The Nets are actually doing what they do every year, surprising the NBA world with scrappy effort and winning games that they ain't supposed to be winning. But at the same time, too, when you got a coach that's determined to go ahead and be different from the rest of the coaches, then you have an opportunity. They have a coach that believes in what he has. It's not, oh, go get me another superstar. Oh, go get me, go flop so we can go get some rookies. No, he's coaching what he has because he knows what NBA players are capable of doing if you put them in the correct spots. And the Nets are the grand definition of that. So tonight, when you look at this game, you got a Miami team that's actually coming in here red hot right now. Miami's playing really good basketball for the month of November. They've actually won 6 out of 7, and they've won their last 6 in a row as well, too. That's why this team is sitting pretty after starting the year losing their first 4 out of 5. They've now won 6 in a row. So that has worked out well for the Miami Heat. You look at the Nets this month, they are actually 5-3 at this moment. And, last month they started off the season in October, losing their first 2 out of 3. And then, pretty much they've been good because they'll win 2, lose 2, win 1, lose 1, then win 2. This team is consistently good at doing things like that. But I don't see that keeping up like that. They're more of a 6, 7, or an 8 in the Eastern Conference. We all know this. But tonight in this game alone tonight, the way that I see this one shaping up is let's go ahead and play with the numbers a little bit. We got the over-under here in the spot. I feel like the best bet in this game, the full game bet, is the over 214.5. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. But that's going to be the Nets and the Heat tonight live in Miami. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and move forward and jump into our next game, which is going to be the Thunder. Don't ever say Thunders. It's Thunder. That's it. And the Warriors. Thunder coming in here 7-4. Warriors are 6-6 plus 2.5 as well, too. You got the over-under 226.5 for this game as well. The Warriors struggling mightily right now as well, too. The Warriors did jump out to a great start for the year. At one point, I think they were, 6-2 to start the year? Yeah, they were 6-2. They were actually 6-1 to start the year. They've lost their last 5 out of 6 games, and they've lost their last 4 in a row as well, too. And got swept by Cleveland. Wow. LeBron didn't even do that. Damn. But Cleveland swept them. They lost 2 in a row to Minnesota as well, too. They lost a 3-point game to Denver in Denver, and then they eked out a win against the lowly Detroit Pistons, and they also eked out a win against both the Thunder and Sacramento. So their wins haven't even been good wins. They 3-5 for the month, and they've been winning by the hairs of their chinny chin. So the Warriors are struggling coming into this game tonight. But the Thunder, do they know how to take advantage of that? That's the biggest question. Now, the Thunder did start off the month losing their first 2 games in a row. They've won their last 4 out of 5. And you know what? The other night, they absolutely scrapped and scraped the Spurs in Wemby. 123-87. That was absolutely embarrassing, and that was on national television as well too. So, man, Wemby and them really got it put on them the other night. And they went ahead and scrapped Phoenix pretty hard as well, too, in Phoenix. So this team is legit. They're real. And when you look at the stats, it's like, whoa, this team is doing damn. You got SAG up here, 29.3 a game. Then you got Holmgren, the rookie, 15.7. And then you got Jalen Williams, the kid. He's doing pretty good as well, too, 17.0. Lou Dort, a guy who was very, very immature a few years ago, but now he stepped it up, 13.1, and Josh Giddey getting 12.5 a game. They're starting five, probably the best in the NBA when it comes to scoring, because literally that's where they're getting 80% of their points from. Their bench isn't really that good, but when they got their starters flowing and their starters are out there doing their thing, then you know what? The Thunder are a tough team to beat. But tonight, I think the Warriors are going to take advantage of this team really running five deep and really get on them about this. And I know the other night they got an easy out because they played against a Spurs team that kind of quits when they know the going is getting tough, especially when they know that they're going against another younger team that's just so hungry for the win. They seem to take advantage of the more marquee games. That's where you see them playing their best, because it seems like Wemby kind of plays up for that stuff. But he's still learning, though. I know I've been one of his harshest critics, hard on him, but that's because I think that he has the potential to be a really great player. And you know how I am about big men. I love all big men, man. But, I get tougher on them because sometimes they just don't know how dominant they can be by doing the correct thing. You know what I mean? Don't do the stupid stuff. But all in all, this is a great game tonight. But I really do think that the Thunder are going to come in here as a overplay for a lot of fans, and we just really can't sleep on the Warriors. It doesn't matter that they're shorthanded. The situation that happened the other night should spark this team in a direction that makes them really say to themselves, you know what? We know we got the target on our back. Let's go ahead and show these guys why we got a target on our back. And let's go ahead and see how it shakes out. But I do like the plus 140 tonight in this game. So with that, we're going to go ahead and we are going to take one final break. And when I get back, we are going to jump into Talking Tickets. So with that, you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper.
The Viget app, where so
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
Here we are. Let's go ahead and jump into it. We have ourselves the Talking Tickets. So you guys, my favorite subject, your favorite subject. So let's get into it. And up first, let's go ahead and jump into the CBB PrimeTime PK6. We got an 87-1 ticket tonight. Townsend tipping us off early, 3:30 today. That game is actually going to be against number 6 Houston, the only top 25 team playing today. Townsend doesn't win the game, but Townsend makes things a little interesting here because they're just not that bad of a team. You know what I mean? But I think that, they're up against it. Let's keep it real. They're at home, or they look like they're the host of the game, but we know that it's a very, very tough task. And, you only asking for this team to try to, give out a good effort. You're not asking this team to go out there and be Hoosiers. You know what I mean? You just need this team to go out there and have a good effort. And you know what? This game tonight is actually going to be in Charleston, South Carolina. So this is a part of the Charleston Classic right here. I'm really kind of mad at myself that I did not put this up here yet. But I know that these tournaments, that these preseason tournaments really get kicked off next week. So, yeah, I'm taking Townsend in that spot tonight. We got Oklahoma State going against St. Bonnie's tonight. This one should be a fun one as well, too. They're playing in Brooklyn tonight, so this is on a neutral floor. I know St. Bonnie's gets a lot of love here because St. Bonnie's is bringing in a big crowd here, and we all know that Barclays is the home of the A10 tournament, so we know that that's the home court advantage for that conference. And you know what? St. Bonnie's is a part of that conference, but I see Oklahoma State not even worried about any of that, and they go up in here and win this game by 3 or better. So with that, we move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into our next game, which is going to be Liberty, and Liberty is coming into this game. Liberty is a team that I really like because they won me some good money a few years ago in the tournament, but they're playing against a really tough Furman team. And both teams are coming in here 2-0. Furman fresh off of a 23-point win, while Liberty's fresh off of a 12-point win against much better competition in Charlotte, while Furman beat Belmont. So with that, I feel like Liberty figures a way to go ahead and get this game. They're playing in Conway, South Carolina tonight. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. Now we have ourselves Wright State, the right stuff. And they're going against Indiana tonight. So this is always a fun game. Horizon League versus the Big Ten. You know that all these schools are pretty much in each other's state. Most of the blue bloods of the Big Ten. So, Wright State, Indiana, this is a big Midwest game right here. 14.5-point spread as well. The game is in Bloomington tonight as well. So Wright State does have it up against them a little bit, but tonight they can go ahead and say, you know what, we don't have any pressure. Let's go ahead and go into this game and try to at least show a great effort. I think they lose this game by 10 or less. We have ourselves the ACC tonight, and the ACC game tonight is Virginia versus Texas Southern. Virginia has been really good here to start the season off. They've been able to win by 33 and 29, but that 3 was against Florida, at Florida. So, playing against Texas Southern tonight, they should go ahead and choke these boys out and get themselves another good 25 or better victory here. That's why I'm taking the 23. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. Now, I already talked to you guys about why I'm going with Mash Lowell. This is Mash Lowell. Malo is Mash Lowell, okay? And I'm going with them tonight because I feel like they should be able to get the big upset here against Arizona State. So I'm looking at it tonight. I think that, this team just goes in there and they do exactly what they did to Georgia Tech the other night. So that's why I'm taking them here. This game is in Tempe tonight as well, too. So let's go ahead and get the big upset against Bobby Hurley's boys. So with that, we move forward. And this is our next topic in hand, and that's going to be the CFB Thursday night bets. BC Pitt bets tonight. As I said, I'm taking the Pitt BC money line plus 110. Also taking the half a point plus side. If the game is tied up at the half, we cash that ticket. If BC's ahead, we cash that ticket. So with the first half, we have this right here, minus 105. Under 10, first quarter, minus 125. And then we have Pitt under 24.5 team total plus 110 tonight. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But BC Pitt, old Big East rivalry game, old Northeast rivalry game. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, we got ourselves the first of our NBA bets tonight. And I'm going over 214.5. Like I said, that's going to be our big bet for the Nets in the Heat game. Also, for the first half, I'm taking the Nets plus 125 first half. Also going to take the Heat minus 1 first quarter. And that's going to be our bets for that game right there. we move forward. Thunder Warriors bets. I'm taking the Warriors money line to win this game straight up tonight. I think that they go ahead and they show the Thunder that they ain't ready yet. So I'm going to take the Warriors with the plus 140. And then I got the under 115 first half tonight in this game as well, too. And then I got the Warriors playing some good defense tonight as well, which they've been doing all year long. I'm going to take the under 114.5. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. And then we get ourselves over to the TNF Bets Thursday night football. And then, this is where we're going with this. Plus 3.5 on the Bengals tonight. That's a minus 110. Bengals first half plus 150. Also the under 7.5 first quarter. And then we have the half a point Bengals plus 165 alternate line. So if the game ends in a tie, if the game ends in a tie, we lose. But sorry for that information. But all we need the Bengals to do is win the game by 1. That's it. Just win the game by 1 point, and we cash out a plus 165. And you guys know that bet is actually better than the plus 3 than the actual Bengals money line. The Bengals money line tonight is actually like plus 130 or something of that nature. It's not that big of a number because they have a big number. They have a 3.5. But money lines tend to be different, and that's exactly what's happening in this game tonight. I just want to double check and make sure I'm giving you guys the right information. Actually, it's bumped up to a plus 170 with the Bengals being now a 4-point dog. So you're getting even more value, just a little bit more. So if you can get home the money line and then you take my half a point, then you're going to be feeling good, feeling great, because you know what? You're right at the 335 mark, plus 335 on that bad boy. So with that, that's going to be a wrap on Talking Tickets. I want to thank you guys so much today for tuning in. You guys are the absolute best. And with that, as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and this is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and I'll be right back at you tomorrow. But for now, I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.